Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about veganism as a cult and why people think veganism is a cult. I'm then going to talk about the theory of being ostracized, and I think that this is a better theory to describe what is actually happening in the vegan movement. And then I'm going to talk about whether ostracizing certain individuals is effective or ineffective. So that's the kind of setup of this video. Unfriending/unfollowing people. When someone from the AR movement inboxes you telling you to unfriend or unfollow an individual or page because the person or organisation is allegedly problematic, or whatever other label with regards to human-centric social political issues, it's not because the person doing so is trying to help the animals or make the movement safer or create an inclusive movement. It's because they want to exert control over you.
The ex-vegan Venus, he was never vegan in the first place, but we'll get to that later.
I believe 100% one cannot be an ex-vegan or used to be vegan. I always say used to be vegan equals was never vegan, because veganism is not a diet.
So as you can see from both the video and posts, both individuals are actually calling veganism a cult, essentially because certain individuals are ostracized from the movement. Now, I have to say, before going into, the reasons why I think being ostracized is a good or a bad thing, I just feel like, okay, certain individuals are ostracized from the vegan movement, but of course they are. It's the same with any type of social movement. Anyone is going to be called out and told they're not really a part of the in-group if they go against the in-group norms and beliefs, or the generally accepted in-group norms and beliefs. So for example, if we watch the next couple of videos, we'll see that this happens in a number of movements. So for example, there's a clip of a Christian guy who was talking about being ostracized by other Christians and called not, and told he was never really Christian, essentially because he stopped being Christian anymore. And so it happens in every single social group, and I don't think that, I kind of feel like saying that something happens within the vegan movement, okay, you're saying that people are ostracized within the vegan movement, fine, but people are ostracized in any possible social group that you're going to be in.
As a former Christian, I am constantly told I was never a true Christian.
So let's talk about why people are ostracized. Now, being ostracized has a number of biological functions. Now, the reason that it has biological functions is basically because when you ostracize people and you remove them from the movement, you're basically removing people who are deviant from the in-group, and you're also essentially setting a standard for the in-group, and making the in-group members not act like the heretics, essentially. And so that's the biological function of ostracizing certain individuals from the vegan movement, or any other type of movement you can think of. So the first topic that I will get into, and this is a massive topic, is ostracizing people, non-vegans essentially, from the vegan movement. And so essentially people are ostracized within the vegan movement if they do something non-vegan. So if, for example, they eat a turkey at Christmas dinner, if, for example, they have small amounts of honey, if, for example, they eat dairy. And I think that this is, in a lot of ways, very important. It's important that we essentially ostracize those people, that we tell them off, that we hold them accountable for their actions, because that way it will encourage them to essentially do better. When people are ostracized by their in-group, often what they will try and do is they'll try and get back into that in-group by making steps to actually change their behaviour. And so I think it's very important that we, in some ways, call out non-vegan behaviour within the vegan movement. Other forms of kind of ostracizing people would be things like not allowing vegetarians who eat small amounts of, who eat a 99% plant-based diet with small amounts of dairy, to go to outreach. I think that that is also very important, because you're setting a standard for what is expected at an outreach. And if you don't set that standard, then you'll end up with people coming to the outreach and promoting products like eggs and dairy. Also, how veganism is categorized, if it was that malleable and you're allowed to call yourself vegan if you eat small amounts of eggs and dairy, essentially the definition would lose its weight in a way. It would start to mean something different than avoiding animal products. It would start to mean, start to be defined as avoiding 99% of animal products. So I think that it's important to ostracize people who are non-vegan in a way. However, I'll get into the next bit, which is talking about ostracizing vegans who don't have your political opinions. Okay, so now that we spoke about ostracizing non-vegans from the vegan movement, we need to talk about ostracizing actual conservative vegans, because I think that this is a major issue for a lot of vegans out there, such as me and Beyond Carnism and various other vegans who are more conservative leaning. So basically, there's an issue with conservative vegans being ostracized from the vegan movement. Conservative vegans have lost their jobs over being conservative. They have been excluded from outreaches and various other things. Now, is this form of ostracizing right-wing vegans useful? I don't really think it is. The reason that I don't think it is because I'm able to understand conservatives more than a left-wing vegan. I'm able to talk to them better than a left-wing vegan. I'm able to mesh things like immigration and being pro-life with veganism. I see the connections between those things that left-wing vegans just don't see. And so I think that I personally have a special insight into veganism that is useful to the movement and can help and encourage more people to go vegan. And so that's one of the issues that I have. And if you keep on ostracizing conservative vegans, some of them are just going to leave, because at the end of the day, there are certain conservative beliefs that I have, such as being pro-life and such as being against sex before marriage, which I'm always going to hold. I'm never going to back down on those opinions. And I think being pro-life and being no sex before marriage is actually more important to me than veganism. That isn't to say that veganism isn't important to me, but those things are more important to me. And so I just feel like not having that community might turn a lot of conservative vegans away. And I think that that's why conservative vegans have a much lower retention rate than the general vegan population. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, guys. Please subscribe and like and comment down below if you like it. And yeah, thanks for watching.